Imagine this, you're creating videos, pouring your heart into each one, but YouTube just isn't showing them to anybody. And then something clicks. Suddenly, your content is everywhere. People are subscribing, commenting, sharing. The growth feels explosive, almost like magic. But what if that's not just a coincidence? What if there's a deeper, unseen force at play here? What if I told you that YouTube's algorithm, that mysterious code everyone wants to crack, might actually be teaching us something far beyond just how to get views? What if it's teaching us something about the very nature of reality itself? Stick with me, and I'll show you how the algorithm, yes, YouTube's algorithm, is actually a mirror of the universe, constantly connecting us with what we're most aligned with, or with what we most want to be in alignment with. And it goes far beyond merely hacking growth. It's about a spiritual awakening hidden in plain sight. This is the spirituality of the YouTube algorithm. And by the end of this video, you'll see how what you put out into the digital world comes back to you, just like in life. By the way, welcome to The Warrior Metaphysic. I'm Antonio, and this channel is all about exploring deep spiritual insights and lessons from everyday life and beyond. And if you're into expanding your awareness and seeing the world from a new and perhaps slightly different perspective, make sure to stick around. All right, so let's get into it. The algorithm is a mirror of the universe. Yes, the YouTube algorithm is designed to serve one main purpose, and that is to connect people with what they are most likely to want to watch. Sounds simple, right? But if you think about it, isn't that what the universe does too? When it comes to spirituality, we often hear that energy flows where attention goes. How many times have you heard that one? Whatever we put our focus on, positive or negative, that's what we start to attract more of in our lives. And it's the same with YouTube's algorithm. But let me give you an example from my own life. Recently, I started watching police interrogation videos on YouTube. And I never really watched them before. And that was a conscious choice because I just don't like the thought of seeing one person hurt another person and not only throw away that person's life, but throw away their own as well. But for some reason, I watched one video and I got into them and ended up watching a ton of them. Some of these cases were truly shocking. People committing heinous, mind-blowing crimes. And if you've watched any of those videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the more I watched, of course, the more I felt it affecting me. I noticed myself feeling more paranoid about people, being more careful about meeting new people, and even being like hyper aware of my surroundings when I go out. And of course, as I watched more of these videos, YouTube started serving me even more of them, right? It's like I trained the algorithm to think, this is what you want to see, this is where your focus is, and just like that, my entire YouTube experience shifted to reflect that focus. And the same thing happens in our lives. If we focus our energy on fear, on negativity, on anything that lowers our vibration, we start to see more of it. And it's not just online, but in our day-to-day experiences. In that sense, YouTube's algorithm is a perfect mirror of the universe. It gives us more of whatever we're aligned with. The more we engage with something, the more it becomes a part of our reality. I think we all pretty much know this by now, especially if you've dealt with the law of attraction for any length of time. But I'll just say I definitely don't want to attract any of the things I see in those videos. And that brings me to shadow work and the algorithm's dark side. So, shadow work, if you're not familiar with it, is the practice of confronting the hidden, darker parts of ourselves. You know, the stuff we don't tell anyone else about, those aspects we often ignore, but those same aspects influence our behavior and our experiences. They're also known as the skeletons in our closet, the deep, hidden, secret thoughts, beliefs, feelings we have inside. By bringing them to light, we integrate them and we can grow more balanced. That takes work. So how this connects to the algorithm. The YouTube algorithm has a shadow side too. It can feed us content that appeals to our lower instincts, like fear and anger and obsession, if we engage with it. And this is similar to how unacknowledged parts of our subconscious can dominate us. Consciously choosing to confront and redirect our attention away from content that doesn't serve us is like doing your digital shadow work, if you will. But the trick here is becoming aware of the pull and choosing a more balanced path. In a way, YouTube is showing us a very practical example of how the law of attraction works. What we watch, what we click on, what we give our energy to comes back to us in abundance. The question is, are we being intentional about where our focus goes? Or are we just letting our attention be pulled into directions that might not serve us? Now, don't get me wrong. I am not here to tell you what and what not to watch. I only offer that you do it consciously. It's okay to indulge in our guilty pleasures, but do so knowing the vibration you're living in that moment. Because in each moment, we're constantly co-creating, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. And honestly, sometimes I have to have a palate cleanser after watching those videos, and then I'll go and watch something super positive, good feeling, and uplifting. So here's some spiritual lessons we can learn from the algorithm. What you focus on expands. And how many times have we heard that one, right? The first spiritual lesson here, again, is we learn from the YouTube algorithm. It's simple, but it's incredibly powerful. What you focus on expands. When you watch a video and like it, YouTube says, hey, they like this. Let's give them more of it. The same thing happens in life. If you focus on positive aspects of your day, if you actively look for good in situations, it feels like more positivity flows to you. And on the flip side, focusing on negativity tends to attract more of the same, just like the YouTube algorithm. The universe is watching your choices and it's building your feed, the feed of your reality. So another lesson we can learn here is about authenticity. The YouTube algorithm rewards videos that people find genuinely interesting, helpful, or entertaining. It values engagement that comes from a real connection. Just like in the universe, authenticity resonates with other people. So when it comes to spiritual growth, we're often reminded that the more we live authentically, the more we attract people and opportunities and experiences that are aligned with our true selves. Being authentic, being real, creates the kind of energy that draws others to you. The algorithm mirrors this by showing content that truly connects with people on a deeper level. It's a reminder that when we're genuine in our intentions, the universe responds accordingly. But here's the kicker. When we are fake, unkind, impatient, and ill-tempered, we attract the people and experiences that reflect that energy, and it pushes the kind people who would otherwise be around us away. So this brings me to the Akashic Records. Are you familiar with the Akashic Records? In the spiritual realm, the Akashic Records are described as an energetic archive containing all knowledge of the past, present, and future possibilities. Essentially, it's an infinite database of information collected from every being, from the most famous person to the most obscure person that has ever lived. Just let that sink in for a moment. The YouTube algorithm operates in a similar way. It's like a digital reflection of the Akashic Records. The algorithm has access to a seemingly endless database of content, and we are contributing to it more and more all the time. And based on our actions, whether it be a video we publish, a video we merely watch, comment on, subscribe to, like, or share, it delivers content that is most aligned with our present state of mind. It's a way of tapping into an infinite potential that exists in the digital realm. So with this, we can see a clear parallel to how YouTube's algorithm is structured quite similar to the universal concept of infinite knowledge from a metaphysical perspective. And this brings us to collective consciousness, trending content, and universal energy. The concept of collective consciousness suggests that humanity is interconnected, and our thoughts and actions can influence the collective. Trends and movements are born out of shared focus and intent. The YouTube algorithm responds to collective interest. Trending content is a reflection of what the collective consciousness is currently focused on. If millions of people are watching videos on a certain topic, it rises to the top and influences what more people see. This is a direct manifestation of the power of collective energy, just in the digital realm. So the key takeaway here is that what we engage with is not just shaping our own reality, but yet we're contributing to a larger collective experience. Yes, even when we're quiet, alone, watching a video, we're giving it our time, our attention. And when we share it, like it, do anything more, that's a bigger contribution to the collective experience. Our interconnectedness, even online, is a prime example of how our attention can amplify collective energy, just as it does in the physical world. So let's talk about consistency and faith. There's consistency. The YouTube algorithm loves consistency. Creators who upload regularly are more likely to be recommended. The same goes for spiritual growth. The universe loves consistency too. Consistent effort, whether it's meditation, gratitude practices, or simply staying positive when things get tough, it is rewarded, although it may not always feel like it, which means we have to do our own work, the internal work. It means showing up again and again with faith that eventually things will fall into place. And when I say showing up, I'm talking about when a situation arises that usually would cause us upset. In that moment, choosing to deal with it differently, choosing to see that challenging thing from a new perspective, so we can deal with that and get a different perspective on it, so we don't keep being negatively impacted by the same situations again. Just like uploading videos without knowing if one will even get views, let alone go viral, spiritual practices often require us to trust without immediate rewards. So as it goes, in both YouTube and in life, you have to believe that the consistent energy you put out will eventually come back to you, sometimes in ways you can't even imagine. So, how to align with our own algorithm? By this point, it's quite clear the connection between the YouTube algorithm and the universe. Let's talk about how we can use this wisdom to align with our highest potential, whether it's in our spiritual journey, creative pursuits, or just living with more intention. These lessons apply to all of us, no matter what path we're on. So we have to set our intentions clearly. Whether it's the algorithm or the universe, they both respond to clarity. And if we want to create something meaningful, whether it's a YouTube channel, personal relationship, a new habit, or personal growth, we need to be clear about our intentions. The more we define what we want, the easier it is for life to align us with the right opportunities. This applies to all areas of our lives. There are no exceptions. So let's be intentional about where we want our energy to go. Just like setting a clear goal for a project, we can set goals for our personal and spiritual growth. When we send a clear message to the universe, it listens. So does the algorithm. And it works with us to make those desires a reality. We have a choice in what we feed our energy into. So we have to feed our energy wisely, online and in our everyday lives. If we want to cultivate positivity, we have to consciously choose to engage with things that uplift us. Whether it's content we watch, the people we surround ourselves with, or even the thoughts we entertain, all of these things shape our experience. Just as we train YouTube's algorithm by engaging with content that interests us, we're also training our minds and spirits by choosing where our attention goes. And most of the time, we're doing this unconsciously. When we focus on the positive, the universe mirrors that energy back to us. We have to make those choices wisely. So, consistent action is key. Consistency is something we all know is crucial, not just for success in our personal projects, but for spiritual and personal growth. It's the little things we do each day that build the foundation for bigger change and a more enjoyable life experience. Whatever journey we're on, Whether it's a creative endeavor, a spiritual practice, or simply building better habits, it's the consistent actions that matter most. Showing up for ourselves and doing it together as a community is what builds the momentum that the universe responds to. And here, I'm talking about energy on a global level, on the level of class, or what we call universal consciousness. It's that level of vibration that we are all attuned to on this planet. Whether we are aware of it or not, we are. We may not always see results immediately, but let's trust that each small step we take aligns us closer to whatever energy we're putting out there or responding to. Which means it's super important for us to engage authentically. Living authentically is essential, not just in what we create, but in how we show up in the world and in our relationships. The more genuine we are, which begins with being totally honest with ourselves first, more on that in a future video, the more we attract authentic experiences and connections. Whether we're engaging with others online, nurturing our own growth, or interacting with the people around us in our day-to-day, authenticity is what deepens those connections. Just like the YouTube algorithm rewards genuine engagement, life rewards us when we are true to ourselves and others. So let's be open, let's be honest, and let's connect with each other from the heart. It's how we build trust with the universe, with each other, and most importantly, with ourselves. So how can we visualize our spiritual growth? Here's an exercise I offer us to all try. Whether you're working on a creative project, you're getting rooted in a spiritual practice, or simply seeking more growth, let's visualize our journey. Let's visualize it as a garden. Each intention we set, each positive action we take is like planting a seed. Tend to this garden with love, consistency, and care, and trust that over time, those seeds will grow into something beautiful and abundant, especially if we cultivate consciously. The universe is always listening, just like the algorithm. Our role is to keep planting, keep nurturing, and to trust the process. Let's do this together. What we put out into the world, we'll receive back in ways far greater than we can imagine. All right, so we've talked about how something as seemingly technical as the YouTube algorithm can actually mirror the deepest truths of the universe. What we focus on expands, authenticity brings alignment, consistency builds trust, and true engagement creates real connections. These aren't just lessons for content creation. They're principles for living a more intentional, more meaningful, and connected life. The algorithm isn't just a tool for success online. It's a wonderful reflection of how the universe works with us every day. What we choose to engage with, where we put our focus, and how we show up, these are the things that shape our reality. And the beauty of it all is we're on this journey together, constantly learning, growing, and aligning with what we're meant to be. And it's not an easy journey, and it is a lifelong. If this video resonated with you, if you feel inspired by these connections, these parallels that we've drawn here between the algo and spirituality, we'd love for you to be a part of our community here at the Warrior Metaphysic. This is a space for all of us to explore these deeper truths together, to learn, to share, and to grow. So make sure to hit subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out as we continue to explore these powerful insights. Leave a comment below. Let us know how this video made you feel, what resonated most with you, or even share a part of your journey. We're all in this together, and your voice matters. Remember, the algorithm, whether it's YouTube or the universes, is always responding to the energy we put out. Let's make our choices with intention. Let's be authentic, let's stay consistent, and let's nurture our growth on this plane together. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and know that the seeds we plant today will grow into the abundant life we envision tomorrow. Thank you for being with us here on this journey. Until next time, let's keep growing together, warriors.